everybody, it's the man with no name here. Click! That just got added to the wish list. After that theatrical trailer, I don't know what there isn't to sell. So, as you can probably guess with the video, this is announcing the Airbourne DLC, which I'm not going to toot my own horn, but if you're a history buff like myself, or you just kind of pay attention to the hints that the devs were dropping, you kind of would anticipate the Airborne DLC to be the 101st, 82nd, which is what we kind of were speculating. So, just looking at the news release that they sent out on the Discord channel and the store page, we are proud to announce Call to Arms, Gates of Hell Airborne. This special DLC will require Ostfront to play, blah, blah, blah. I just did that, so we don't have to worry about that. So, Airborne. Get ready for a spectacular action-packed experience. This DLC will take a single-player format a step up with its upgraded features. Step in the shoes of a U.S. paratrooper to get ready to go into action at the crack of dawn on D-Day. Take part in Operation Market Garden, the Battle of the Bulge, and advance into German proper for crossing the Ibel River. Immerse yourself in iconic battles that gained the 82nd 101st Airborne Division legacy and legendary status. Oh my goodness, it's been a long day. As you may have come to expect from us, the battlegrounds will be the real thing. Detailed recreations of iconic locations such as Brecourt Manor, the bridge at La Fière, at the Nijmegen Bridge during Operation Market Garden. 12 single-player / co-op missions await, with all the right maps and assets to immerse you deeply. So I want to pause there. Two things I'm going to speculate with just their announcement. The first thing is that they have an upgraded feature. So I'm wondering if that would entail call-ins, which would allow you to be able to call in paratroopers and drop them at a designated location, either in multiplayer, conquest mode, skirmish, or even the campaign. I wonder if that's going to be a thing. I'm going to call that is one of the things that they're going to talk about, or they're talking about, and that's going to come into play. There may be some other features such as gliders, and they glide in instead of parachute in, and then you can have light armor such as, the Jeeps, or maybe even like a Greyhound, but gliders were not able to carry very much, as they were basically using gravity to descend at a slow controlled rate, and then they landed in theory. There was a bunch of crashes and whatnot. As you know, the second part of what I'm thinking here is it says there's 12 missions. So breaking down here, but keeping on the point, there's two feature divisions of the military, most famous in U.S. military history, which is the 82nd and 101st Airbornes. So I'm either thinking that, we're going to have, it's going to be broken up. Either I'm thinking it's going to be like the DLC for Liberation, and you're going to have 6 American missions, which will consist of the 101st and 82nd, all the way from North Africa, or the Italy conflict from 43, all the way up into 45. Or you're going to have, and then the other side of that would be 6 missions with defense of the Italians and the Germans, but that would entail that you're having to add in another faction, which may be part of their plan. I still think that they're going to add in the British faction, because they, at this point, they kind of have to. They're highlighting Market Garden, and if they get into North Africa with the 80, then they potentially, Sicily going in, and they're going to have to add in the British. There's no way they can't on a historical battleground. But they've mentioned Italy, so we may see the Italians, and that may be part of the German conquest. And you just may have a light integration of them like we saw with the Spanish division in the original Ostfront. They weren't added in as a faction, it was just that was their division. So we may have a mission taking out Sicily that would be just the Italians. So there's either going to be 12 missions comprising of, like, say maybe 8 and 4 with the 101st in the with 4, combat missions, so to speak, or 6 and 6, or it may just be 6 American and 6, Axis power Germany. So, we kind of gonna skip a little bit, and then we go into here. The 101st Screaming Eagles is the second oldest airborne division, and also redesignated from being an organized reserve infantry division in 1942. Like the 82nd, the 101st was dropped at dawn of D-Day. Their objective to secure a village of Saint Martin, or as we would Saint Marie Église would be into that. We're also getting into Carentan, X, Y, and Z. Any of you history buffs know this, but anyway. Then we go all the way through Market Garden. Then we go to the Battle of the Bulge. So I am excited to see that play out, as we've all seen in, various TV shows and movies like Band of Brothers and etc. I'm mainly just going to talk about Band of Brothers here. So, anyway, other than single-player missions, which we have played as co-op as well, there are some new vehicles, which is interesting, and a lot new assets. So, again, I'm thinking assets as in we're going to have the ability to bring in gliders or drop airborne units and make a new version of the game in flanking and being, very strategic in how we assault, the enemy. The assets will be a big expansion to the options of the Western Front. There we go. That's kind of what I'm thinking, including an assortment of assets for the Netherlands. Some pretty spectacular objects await. Interesting. On the whole, the table of content is perfectly suitable for the campaign. You will find this content listing on the store page. So some other interesting things I like to notate is they added a bunch of similarities to certain shows, such as Band of Brothers. We have what we see here as our Airbourne getting dropped in. Another iconic one is when Winters is looking out the plane at the end of episode 1, and we're flying into Normandy. As it pans out, we get to see this just awesome display of U.S. military power as hundreds and thousands of U.S. paratroopers are getting ready to go into the enemy front to take on the Germans in the invasion of Normandy. Another key feature we have here is, you may not know this, but in the Battle of Operation Market Garden, 82nd Airborne actually crossed a river. This is depicted in A Bridge Too Far, 1960s movie. Very iconic scene. Obviously, we have awesomeness of Lieutenant Colonel at the final stages of his career, as Ronald Spears coming in like a Chad. All in all, guys, I would say highly anticipated. I can't wait for it. Just the amount of detail that this is gonna focus on. I just love their attention to detail and their ability to take history and, in this capacity, make it like able to be relived in a way. Because, like, my great grandpa, for instance, just like, not trying to tell my age or get too like personal on the channel here, but we have, like, I mean, my great grandpa, he's been dead since 2015, was a World War II veteran. And, granted, I wasn't old enough until the latter years of his life to get to hear a lot of things about the history. So that's what one thing on top of me just being a loving the history aspect. World War II is my favorite time era ever to study. There's so much innovation. There's so much that just happened that could have altered not only the lives of Europe but the whole world really. As as weird as that sounds, that really could have happened. Like if we had lost the war, big if. Anyway, I have a problem. Why? Why is that a? That's not the right decal. Anyway, found one thing not authentic, but anyway, because it's that actually history note. All the little decals on everybody's helmets was to give identification to what division that they were in. So, I mean, obviously the Ranger Division, you have the 101st, the 82nd, the list goes on and on and on. But with saying that, I think that this game is going to continue to develop and be awesome. I can't wait to just play again and just see some of the things that this game has to offer. Just the attention to detail and the ability to just recreate, in a sense, history so that, whoever wants to can take this game and relive history in a controlled environment and, appreciate the ability to do what we have and the freedoms that we have in a lot of countries because men such as, this fictional game represents realistic fiction, if you will, and that allows us to see kind of just a sliver of what those guys and girls went through. So anyway, guys, I'll call it there. I'm really excited to check this game out. If you haven't already, add it on your wish list. I am not a spokesman or a salesman for the Gates of Hell community. I just love this game, and I'll advocate it for free. If they ever hit me up and was like, hey, you want to do this for us? I would say yeah. But in the meantime, we'll call it there, and we'll see you all down the road. Bye-bye.